Global News just released explosive new documents that show that Justin Trudeau and his government knew about what was happening by them completely ignoring the Safe Third Country Agreement and enabling illegal border crossers to come into Canada, that they knew that this was creating a draw into Canada's system and allowing the abuse of our asylum system, and still they did nothing about it. So I just read a news story. It was just released by Global News, and the title of the article is "The Safe Third Country Agreement is no longer working as intended, memo reveals." So this is a memo that was obtained through an access to information request, I believe, by Global News, where it shows that the department officials within the government warned Justin Trudeau and his government and his ministers repeatedly that the agreement that we have with the United States, that Safe Third Country Agreement that prevents people from claiming asylum in one of our countries after having already reached the other, was not being properly managed and was actually creating what we call a pull factor into Canada. Now, this of course is the Captain Obvious statement to end all Captain Obvious statements, that if we weren't enforcing this agreement because of this loophole at illegal points of entry, that people are going to abuse it. Of course, how many times have I said this to you over the last, several years? But here's the thing. This document shows that Justin Trudeau was willfully ignoring the advice of government officials and willfully enabling the abuse of our asylum system, but at the same time, by doing this, willfully allowing those who are in dire need around the world, who are waiting to come to Canada, that are, have far more dire claims to come to Canada, at their expense, but also at your expense as Canadian taxpayers. Now, we know that the cost of Justin Trudeau ignoring this advice over the last couple of years has been hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars. We know that just a couple of short months ago, Justin Trudeau had to put another $114 million onto Canada's deficit because he needed to pay for the hotel rooms and social welfare payments for people that were in the United States of America, in upstate New York, who were illegally entering Canada and claiming that they were persecuted. That is not what our asylum system was intended to do, and that is not what those tax dollars should be supporting. So I think it's really important to note here that at this point in time, Justin Trudeau can't claim that he didn't know what was going on. I mean, these documents show that his own department, his own government was saying, hey, you got to fix this. This is creating the abuse of our system. And he ignored that advice. So what is he doing here? I mean, at this point in time, I think it's pretty clear what he's done. Justin Trudeau has purposely created, by ignoring this advice and ignoring all of our requests, a new express entry system into Canada. That express entry system is illegally crossing the border from the United States into Canada, getting a hotel room at taxpayer expense, waiting for years to have your asylum claim processed, and in the meantime being able to claim social welfare payments, subsidized housing. I mean, there's a question in Quebec if they can claim free daycare, all at taxpayer expense. This is not what our asylum system was designed for, but Justin Trudeau has now created an express entry system into Canada for this. Now, at the same time, Justin Trudeau has not done anything to clear the backlogs that are in streams of entry for people who are legitimately trying to come into the country through the front door. He hasn't done any sort of review or reform of the processing on these asylum claims. What Justin Trudeau's failure to manage our borders has done is created a huge deficit, a huge unfair system, and frankly, I think it's eroding public support for immigration in Canada, which is, when we talk about division and polarization, that's Justin Trudeau's fault on this file by not taking this advice. He He knew about this. They were warning him, and still he chose to create this express entry system. So what are Canada's Conservatives going to do differently when we form government in October? First of all, Canada's immigration system has to be brought back to fairness and order. And that has to start first and foremost by ensuring people that are illegally entering our country after having reached the safety of upstate New York do not have priority express entry access into our country and have the ability to abuse Canada's asylum system. That has to stop. There are numerous ways that we can do this. There are numerous ways that Justin Trudeau could have done this, but he has chosen not to do this because he supports this system. That's very clear. His inaction is an action. He has chosen to take action by allowing this to happen, and Canada's Conservatives would put an end to this. Make sure you read the story. I've included the link at the top of this post. It's shocking. It is shocking. It is crazy, and it underscores the fact that Justin Trudeau, I think, frankly, has had an agenda to weaken and abuse our asylum system. Because when you ignore advice like this, it's for a reason, and it's for a purpose. And in recent months, we have seen just how far Justin Trudeau will go for political purposes. This needs to stop, and Justin Trudeau needs to go. We'll continue fighting Justin Trudeau and his majority Liberal government and this type of detrimental policy as hard as we can. But the time is now coming very closely for you as Canadians to make sure that he's held to account when an election comes. I'm going to keep working and holding him to account, but at this point in time, this abuse of our asylum system, this erosion for support of immigration in Canada because of his failures, the fact that he is costing, people whose lives are in jeopardy the opportunity to come to Canada, because he is costing Canadian taxpayers hundreds of millions of dollars because he's allowing the use of our asylum system, all of that needs to stop, and he needs to not have a platform to be able to do this to our country anymore. Working hard for you. Have a great day.